They had a speech at the Orchid Society annual meeting. It was about Phragmipediums and a deep dive into which phrags it all started with. Initially, lady slipper orchids, such as Phragmipedium, Repotting, and Phragmipediums, all belong to the very same genus, the Repotting. But not anymore. Many people have tried to cross Phragmipediums with Phragmipediums, as the flowers sometimes resemble each other a lot. But it doesn't work, and it will never work. The hybridization it all started with seemed to be the longifolium and Persei, and Caudatum perhaps, the very long pedaled ones, which are lacking color. You can see one here, Busna supergrandi, with a cross between longifolium and Orchids. Yeah, brown and green colors. So how to get a little bit more reddish color, a little better tone to the frag blooms? Somebody finally found the tiny, teeny, weeny little Schlimmii, a small-sized, very finicky Phragmipedium, yes, and crossed it with a long petal one, and yeah, that's the way it continued until one day somebody found a field of Persei. And the field had been there all along. They all thought it was begonias growing there. And it was all set for a while until somebody in 2002 found the king of phrags, Kovacii, to create plants like this on a windowsill, smaller size ones. So, with a little bit of the Schlimmii and the Persei, they can nowadays easily fit a windowsill for the ordinary orchid collector. I repotted all my phrags last spring. It's grown nicely, this beautiful Phragmipedium, Busna, Rosenglans, but Phrag Kovacii and Phrag Caricinum. Caricinum is also a species, you can see the lower capital letter to both the K and the C. Yes? So, which makes this orchid a little bit more easy to grow, as the Kovacii itself surely isn't. The flowers looks a bit like spotted, huge cardinals. There are several flowers that look exactly that way, yeah? Such as the very, very different looking to compare these two guys' foliage. Slim leaves, chubby, quite wide leaves with little young mottled in a way. These guys creates virtually identical flowers. Phragmipedium ink and treasure, and the Busna Rosenglans. Still, they look so different. These are grown nicely. Nothing to complain about, really. I do have this one. Yeah. This is another beautiful Persei hybrid. It's a quite old cross. Eric Young is the Persei and is it longifolium? Yeah, I'll write it down for you guys, which adds the red color to the flowers. Look, but she's sort of dry. She dries very, very quickly. She's got a good root system. Still looking very nice. This stunning flower with some orange-ish red coral. And yet another to come. And there's something there as well. So 2 here at least. But what she's offering us as a bonus this time, something new. Never saw this before. To the stem. So it's magnificent what this orchid really is capable of doing. Of these types of orchids. Yeah. I wonder what next year's blooming will look like. If this one turns out this great. After having been here in my conditions for relatively long now. Yeah, what a pleasant surprise. I guess today I've learned that the Schlimmii can be adding on not only the color, but the finickiness. See. Priscilla, the Putilla, or Equagenera. It's it's rot. You can see the new leaf, the old leaf. Yeah. Oh, I thought, yeah, new growth. That will help her. No, dead middle leaf already to it. So it's got rot. So it really makes the Schlimmii finicky. Nobody really declare that. I only need to take a guess. But this morning, while I'm sitting here trying to edit the video, a thought crossed my mind. Would it not be possible to add a little bit of water conditioner into the Phragmipedium tap water to eliminate ammoniac, nitrate, chloramide and stuff, which is in my tap water, naturally. Of course, I can pour up the water in advance, as I always do, yeah, into a watering can or buckets and stuff, to improve the levels of chloramide in the water. But that's one thing, but there's still other stuff inside the water. Even though the ppm, total ppm, parts per million, is relatively low for being city water, but it's soft city water where I live. I have around 100 parts per million of something in my water. Yeah. So, and a lot of it is really chloramide. So maybe a little drop of this will improve the water quality. I'm not sure. I can try to just add a couple of drops of this or something else, some other brand, or it's not that I'm trying to promote this brand by any means. There are several brands, cheaper ones, which you can get at the local grocery stores and stuff. Doesn't matter. Just something that eliminates the chloramide. Yeah? It's just a thought. Yeah? Tell me what you think about that thought. Will it work? I haven't really found any useful information on Google, so yeah. But it's not as simple to just divide her or separate them from the other ones. It's not as easy as that. The largest growth might not have any roots. This one is the best one. Middle leaf is dead. But you can see, no way that she's going to get her roots down there. This leaf is in the way. Yes. I hate to see her. This one, it's been the best plant of them all. Yes. And it's the most expensive one I've got in my collection. I think almost the most expensive orchid in throughout my whole collection. Phragmipedium Actus Beauty. You see here, there's nothing else. This guy is showing signs of maybe lack of roots down there, or drying out too severely in between the waterings. So I would like to see what this guy hides underneath. It's high time to repot anyways. It's been 1 year. So, but I want to repot it in. I need to decide after I've seen his roots. If it's going to be in a more water-retentive medium than it's already sitting in, or if there's going to be a little bit less water retentive medium. So let us take a look at the Actress Beauty first. These spots indicates two different types of problems. So it's up to me to determine which. So it's not easy. Let us see now. Loads of rose stones, which I can reuse. It is not the root system that's bad. Not at all. Look. Root tips. A couple of dead, of course. But not so many as one would have thought, considering. So, it's lack of water. This makes it a whole lot easier to know how to treat it. Just going to remove that leaf and these sheath. And cut off the ugly tips and wash these roots, and we're good to go. Nice. So I'm just going to put her aside and let her dry. I'm going to cut its leaf so it looks like nothing ever really happened to it. That's what I'm supposed to do. And I'm gonna get this leaf off this plant to expose new roots. It will drop anyways very soon. So make this leaf a bit prettier as well. Yeah. So will this one be now? Yeah, add a little bit of cinnamon to its tips. So I'm going to dry its roots for a couple of minutes. Meanwhile, and after that, they dried a bit, I will spray it with hydrogen peroxide, 3%, just in case of some fungal diseases lurking. I do have an idea for it not to become as dry as it's been. Just you wait. Now it's time for the disaster orchid, the one with the Schlimii mansuri in it. Yeah, let us look at it. Yeah, loads of rose stones, even to this medium, this mix. Yes. 1 year ago, I don't really remember. If I'm not gonna look at the notes, they are somewhere, but yeah. It looks neat. Looks like there's really nothing. Yeah, could it be? Of course, there's an issue with the roots, aren't there? Must be. Or there are still roots. Surprised that there are as many as there are. But well, some are really dead. Vellum doesn't look great. So yeah. Some looks alive, but not the amount I would like to see. So there's normally an issue to roots. But we shall see. It's going to be a hard nut to crack, this orchid. So this is what its roots looks like. Its root is soft down there. Yeah. Yeah, it's a poor root system. It really is. But well, it is what it is. Some are very sturdy on the other hand, but I'm not sure if there's much life to him. Here's at least one. But, oh, this is bad. Oh, this is really bad. So, the problem lies underneath. Let us expose new roots. That's my thought. There's new growth there. And in there, something else. This leaf, I will try to remove. Somehow. Yeah. So. Let's tease it out from there. It may create another new one. It's possible, I've heard. With phrags. Yeah, this one is a bad one. Won't save it. Yeah, this leaf I won't save. Send away for new life. Yes, it's roots that we need, nothing else. Really, a whole bunch of new roots. Which would have, if I wouldn't have done anything, that would be stuck there, dying. So this is the future of this plant. I can tell you that much, guys. These are. So, no more crap to this one. And here, new life. Behind there, new life. So, I'm just gonna put it aside. I'll let it dry. Add a little bit of hydrogen peroxide. Yes. And repot it fairly low down. Into a pot with a top layer of, yeah, you can see. It's rotten. With a top layer of vermiculite. Yes? Vermiculite. That's what I'm going to try out this time around. Vermiculite. I can see new growth. Just need to remove this fairly hard, stiff stuff that's in the way. This is going to be a fresh new start for this orchid. And I want to place her into a little bit more shady position than she's been in the last few weeks. And I'll move her around as much as I did. So, a bit of cinnamon to the tips, just for looks. Want it to look pretty. Yeah, the best way I can. So, what's this going to be this time around? I found this nice bar. Medium grade. There's a bit of this will be alright. Since I didn't find the small grade bark anywhere, so we need to make do with this one. Alright? I'm going to use, just like before, a good deal of perlite. Charcoal. Disinfective properties. A great deal. Let's now know which orchids we're dealing with here. Finicky ones. And this. Kovaciais likes alkaline. I prepared the mix perlite, bark, and charcoal. I found this kind of sort of cheap orchid bark, white moss, and bark, pine bark. That one I used a lot in here. And some spag, New Zealand spag moss. Now it's the shape and form of shredded moss. Yay. Anyways, we're not finished there. I bought a bag of something new, orchid pollen. It's pumice, lava rock, zeolite, and a bit of fertilizer, slow release nutrients. Yeah, as the Krovaki ice grows in sandy conditions. Why not add a little bit of sandy look-alike substitute into the mix instead of simply only pumice? Yeah, might as well. I don't know why I bought it. I just need to use it. Yeah, so why not? But first I'm gonna rinse it a bit. Now the debris and dust are all gone. So I prepared 2 buckets. If I know myself right, it's going to be plenty of Phragmipedia. I'll probably end up repotting more. Yeah. And if that wasn't enough, there's one more ingredient I'm going to add to the equation today. Yay, and what's that? It is vermiculite. That's what I've heard. Notices when the area becomes too dry. And it retains moisture. And as the area surrounding it becomes too dry, it will slowly release a little bit of its moisture. So, which means that the medium will never really dry out too severely. At least that's what I'm hoping for. Yeah, and the perlite will help out with the airiness. Yeah, I can always try out new stuff. And a couple of pieces of bark, which are a little bit more medium grade, large grade. Drainage, a little bit of drainage. It's going to be quite a compact mix, so I want it to be a little bit airy, fluffy. Still, but my goal is I'm aiming for Repotting every year, so that's all right. It won't degrade all that much, I hope. And on top of it all, as a top layer, it's going to be this coconut husk char, fine grade, mixed up with some vermiculite. Now the roots has dried a bit, otherwise it would have been far too diluted. If I spray the peroxide onto wet roots. And the acker, it's beauty, needs a bit as well. I decided, as you saw, this was a badly infested by rot. And as I didn't have an extended root system, I can only draw 1 or 2 conclusions. It's been staying for far too long overpotted with a very, very tiny, dysfunctional root system. That's why I'm gonna pot this guy up, down into a smaller pot this time. For a while, yes? Way down, until it establishes a good root system, and I will simply lift this whole orchid up and simply switch pots for it. Yes? This Schlimmii guy likes to dry out in between waterings at times, so it cannot stay soggy for an extended amount of time. So maybe that's where I went wrong. This guy. We can always guess. I cannot talk to the orchid, even though I wanna. So, now let us bury new roots there. Press it down good. I had a dying orchid, Cereal Alka. Yes. But it's not dying anymore. She went into a smaller container. And that did the trick. I'm going to show her to you guys in a sec when this one's ready. Yeah. Maybe this orchid isn't as low down yet as I would have wanted it to be. But I'm going to press it down as good as I can and add on the vermiculite layer. Here. So all of her new roots goes down really. She needs a new root system. And fresh medium and not be overwatered. That's what she needs. Not drying out to the surface. New roots needs to go down. Yeah, just like paths. You cannot pot an orchid far too high up in the pot, as the new roots will sometimes appear here, and they will stop growing. And you'll be left with an orchid without any roots, eventually. So, the Priscilla, the Portilla, Schlimii, Monsuri, and Kovacii. It's now sitting in a smaller pot, a smaller outside container, and it won't take up as much space. Yes, as it did before. That's nice. Here's my little Cereal Alka. It's a lovely, lovely, lovely Kovacii cross. Periflorus, yeah, they like to have their business right before the hybrid's name. Periflorus Cereal Alka carries beautiful large flowers. But I wasn't going to talk about her heritage or stuff like that. I was going to talk about that. All that was left of her was these two fans, looking crappy as hell. Look. And all of a sudden, some teeny little thingy appeared to the base, which I thought would die off as soon as I saw it. But it managed. And not long after, this growth as well. Yeah. So, and it's in a tiny pot. But as you can see, it carries a good root system now. The roots are everything, really. Good and good. I mean, fairly good for being this flimsy. So I thought I'd throw this orchid away, but I'm happy I didn't. Yeah. And I guess you guys know the rest. What's going to happen next in my Phragmipedium growing area. So, well, thank you all guys for watching this. And we shall see what happens to these guys. If this terrible orchid, Priscilla the Portilla, is going to bounce back and create new fans without any black leaves to the center. And if this beautiful, expensive orchid, Acus Beauty, will be hydrated enough, perhaps even to put out a spike, like she obviously did last year. This is the rest of the spike, last year's spike. You can see. I'm not kidding you guys. It's been blooming, but right before I received it, so. But anyways, it's a hybrid, so maybe it can bloom at any time of the year. It doesn't need to be spring. Yes, that's when I got it in April, May last year. So I was naturally expecting blooms at the same time period, but for this year. But who knows? Maybe it'll bloom in autumn instead, if I play my cards right and hydrate it enough. Yes? With a good layer of this on top. I can make sure that it's going to be hydrated on top. And I do not think that a layer of moss was the was the solution, really. It dried out even more than the bark did, as I didn't keep it hydrated. Yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you liked this video, and we should talk soon, guys. Yeah, bye-bye.